Welcome to the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern, certified G, bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. We were going to have Taylor Swift on today, but she was booked. But we would still take the 5 million views, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, man. The people in the room, G Money Grant Mitchell. How you doing?
I'm really disappointed. I was in communication with Taylor, but she backed out at the last second. I guess duty calls. She's probably got another podcast to go record with, but it's Friday, so I'm not going to let it bring me down too much.
You know what? The NFL, well, first of all, Travis Kelce, I know he's in love, right? Like, it seemed a little weird. Like, I watched a little podcast. Like, she's more like goo goo gaga than he is, obviously. But that woman next to him, no matter if they break up or stay together, has made him more money than he has ever made from playing football in his career.
Well, that's how it goes with a lot of these guys, especially some of the older athletes, like the guys who retired before the money really came into sports. But like whatever ventures they're doing, some of them start different brands, TV deals, podcasts, whatever. A lot of these really famous celebrities who make that transition, they make way more money off the field, off the court, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Like, I bet Bussin' with the Boy. Well, Will Compton for sure has made more.
But he wasn't a great player.
Yeah, Taylor has probably made more playing in the NFL, I would say. For now, at least. I mean, that could change. But like Jason Kelce made $81 million in his NFL career, and they signed that $100 million podcast deal. So he didn't take home 50% of it, obviously, because some's got to go to production and all that and sponsored, whatever. But like the podcast that they did the other night that basically broke the internet has made them more money. Like the Taylor Swift era has made them more money than they ever made from playing football. Like, if I was Travis, why do you even play football anymore?
Shannon Sharpe made $22 million in his NFL career, and he gave that all to a OnlyFans star.
You know what's crazy though about Shannon? I mean, yeah, Shannon, but that was the old days too. Like, as far as what he made, like if Shannon played in today's world, he would have made a lot more. But yeah, speaking of Shannon, like he got fired from ESPN. Nobody really talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, is Nightcap still going? I haven't seen it in a while. It hasn't hit my recommended.
I don't think so. I think something slipped. Well, when all the news broke, that kind of all circulated, and then he was still doing Nightcap, still with ESPN, but not on TV. And then he just basically got fired from ESPN, and we never heard from him again. So obviously something happened, and they pushed it under the rug. But we never have heard about Shannon Sharpe. He was at the Hall of Fame though for his brother.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What did you think? This is kind of digging up some old news, but when he said that he wished ESPN had waited until after the Hall of Fame ceremony to announce that he had been suspended from ESPN, that seemed like a very lame excuse to me. Because it wasn't like it was the day of the Hall of Fame induction speech or anything like that, to my knowledge.
I don't know. It was probably a couple days before, but I personally, I don't know what Shannon did. I don't know if Shannon's guilty. Like, none of us know if Shannon's guilty, but there have been moments where, women have destroyed careers and got let off. Like, look at Trevor Bauer, for example. Like, he was proved innocent in court. The woman that accused him, destroyed his career. He will never pitch in the big leagues again. So you don't know. Nobody knows what happened unless you're in the room. But with that being said, if something did happen, if Shannon was guilty, it don't matter when ESPN announces it, That's
and let's be clear. You're right that happens where women do make things up sometimes, but men also get away with it. Yeah. And for ESPN, if I'm looking at it from ESPN side of things, a settlement is not an admission of guilt necessarily, but it's an admission of it's not outwardly saying this did not happen. No, and I think part of the settlement was she dropped the use of the word, the R word that we're not going to say on YouTube. She dropped that use, but I believe there was still an acknowledgement of issues happening within the relationship. And because Shannon agreed to that as part of the settlement, that probably sent some flags to ESPN, and they're like, we can't be associated with this.
Yeah, no, in the end of the day, nobody knows what happened unless you're in the room. But it's hard for athletes because there are girls who want to take athletes down, and then there's athletes who do bad things too. So it can be a bad cocktail sometimes. But if Shannon was guilty, it doesn't matter when ESPN announced it. If they settled and they removed the R word. Like, it doesn't matter if they waited before or after the Hall of Fame. Like, out of courtesy to Shannon, obviously he would want that, but at the same time too, like ESPN just wants to get rid of him. And there was no news cycle about it. Like, he was done, and I think people already thought he was done, so nobody really talked about it.
This is also very off base, but just randomly the other day on my Twitter feed, I saw the Sterling Sharp injury where he was momentarily paralyzed, and like that must be terrifying. Not just for it, but like for your brother, for your family to see that happen. Like, he was just on the field, not able to move.
Football is such a dangerous game. Like, it is crazy how dangerous football can actually be. Any combat sport, but football.
And back then, when they were actually trying to kill each other and guys were wearing like illegal pads and stuff like that.
With no helmet. I mean, today it's as safe as you get. It's still really dangerous, but like you hit somebody the wrong way, you get a flag for it in today's world. Like, even when we grew up watching football, like when we were 12, some of these hits that were taking place in the NFL, like you watch like the old NFL highlight reels, guys were getting concussed on the daily, no flag. Like, it was people took pride. Ed Reed coming over the middle, Ray Lewis, like, you didn't want to come over the middle in that world. You still don't today, but you're going to get at least a penalty for it and get some positive yardage.
And they're more likely to try to like take your legs out, which is bad. That's how you tear an ACL. But they were they were coming to cut your head off in the past. They're not doing that anymore.
No, definitely not. Stephon Diggs, who's he dating? Cardi B?
He was. Are they still together? I'm not in the loop on this stuff.
I think so. But does she make more money than him? Probably.
Oh, 1,000%.
Cardi B net worth. Let's see what it is. Cardi B. Yeah, but Stephon's Big Daddy.
You can't be a Patriots fan now. You've been saying for the past 3 years you're a Bucs fan. You're not allowed to switch now.
I like them both. I'm going to be honest.
Whatever.
I think this Patriots team is going to be really fun to watch this year.
Like, I agree. You see Vrabel was in another fight yesterday?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's another scuffle, and he dove right in.
Yeah, it's just it's a different mentality with Vrabel. Like, even watching the Bussin' with the Boys interview, like just how he conducts himself, it got me juiced up. Like, I like Vrabel. Don't get me wrong. I love Baker. I love the Bucs, but the Patriots still, I mean, they're, that's my team. That's my team growing up,
Whatever. Fair weather fan.
World Sports Network is the greatest sports network. We are presented by the World Sports Network. Betting previews, picks, promo codes. It's all on there. Make sure you guys check it out. WSN.com. Link down in the description below. And Grant, the Ride the Line podcast has been taking off lately. So why don't you tell the people what they need to do to continue to make it take off?
Well, the easiest way to support us, guys, is to hit that like button. Literally doesn't change anything on your end. It takes 1 second of time, but it makes a world of difference for us. So please do hit that like button, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to be locked in for the future content. Like Tanner said, the reception lately has been awesome, and we got a lot more coming, especially with the NFL season finally here. If you didn't want to be with us during the offseason, like, okay, cool, I get it. But the NFL season's here, and this is the time to be on the channel. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's get into it.
Yeah, once we get into the NFL season, we'll definitely be doing more picks and all that analysis. But right now we're talking news cycle. And the biggest news story, Grant, which we actually didn't talk about when we were planning this out today, just want to bring up real quick. Jerry Jones, stage 4 cancer, 10 years, survived. Did you see that?
I didn't see it was 10 years, but yeah, I saw that he had got through
like
experimental treatments or stuff like that.
With stage 4, that's crazy. That is crazy. Shout out to Jerry Jones, the Cowboys. Cowboys, the only reason I saw that because Micah Parsons popped up on my screen.
Jerry has looked very old for a long time, so that would explain it.
I mean, Jerry's got to go. I'm gonna be honest. Like Jerry's got to go. Not like in that way. Not like in that way. He can still like
what way?
I'm not saying it's to die, but like he can't, like the man can't be the GM anymore. Like just go be the owner. Go sign some babies, shake some hands, call it a day.
Did you see that he called the Cowboys a soap opera?
No, he likes that though. He likes when everyone's talking about America's team.
Well, he literally said that he feels it's his obligation as the owner. When the Cowboys fade out of the news cycle, he stirs up the pot to bring them back in it. And this is saying the quiet part out loud. We've all known that he's done this, but he literally came out and said, when we're not in the news, I will do something to make sure we're there. He called them a soap opera. Those were his words. He says that there's value in drama and controversy. And And he's saying all this, and I was so torn because I was like, clearly he's so incredibly aware of the Cowboys and what he's doing. That you could have made the argument in the past he didn't realize the effect that he was having. He made it crystal clear he knows exactly what he's doing. At the same time, how then is he not acutely aware of the fact they haven't been to the championship game in 30 years? Dak has 2 wins in 8 seasons as a start. How does he know one thing so well, but then not realize that is contributing to why they're not winning games?
If he would just put a half decent team on the field, like they would be must-watch television with him. If they were a perennial playoff contender, like championship contender, like everybody thought Dak was back because he beat Tom Brady and the Bucs in the playoffs. Like that was the moment that the Cowboys, they thought this iteration of the Cowboys had arrived. And honestly, that Buccaneers team was not good. Like that last year.
The Cowboys did demolish them though.
They weren't good though. That last year Bucs was really the downfall season for them. The first year, obviously Super Bowl. Second year, that team could have gone to the Super Bowl again.
If Stafford didn't hit that like 60-yard bomb to Cup.
Yeah. They limped into the playoffs that third year. I think they were probably like a 9-8 team.
9-8. Yeah.
Yeah. Barely won the NFC South. Like, and don't get me wrong, they were still the best team in the NFC South, but that team was not a Super Bowl contender. So shout out to the Dallas Cowboys for winning that game. But overall, Dallas has just been a massive disappointment. But if they put good players on the field, they would be much better. That's probably why Jerry's waiting to pay Micah. He just wants to get the cycle going, but nobody really cares about that anymore. That was the dumbest thing ever when Micah thanked Dallas and requested a trade. And Jerry must have loved it. And no way I'm trading that defensive end. No chance.
Well, so apparently the Tides haven't spoken since that moment. And so if we go through the players that they've had the contract struggles with, actually, I was reading an article, I believe it was by Bill Barnwell the other day, and he did some analysis and said by kicking the can down the road with Dak and the way they structured the contracts, doing the same thing with CD, now what they're doing with Micah, they've cost themselves at least $84 million, depending on what Micah's deal comes out to. Yeah. That's a huge, huge issue. That's like more than a quarter of your salary cap in 1 year. And that's what you've lost just through negligence. There was no reason. I could maybe understand Dak waiting, tagging, wanting to see him prove it for a year. There's no reason to wait for CD. There's absolutely no reason to wait for Micah. This deal should have been done a year ago because then you could have been paying him like $33 million a year. But now because TJ Watt and Myles Garrett in the 40s, what do you think Micah's going to want? So you've set yourself back so far. But yeah, I was reading that article and they said they've cost themselves so much money. And I'm looking at this situation like Dak is he's a company man. I don't think he really wants to create controversy. CD, I don't view him as much of a company man, for lack of a better word. But he was still not willing to go make a fuss in front of the media. Micah is willing to do that. And I think rightfully so, because I'm on his side in this battle. But like just assuming that he put out that statement, it's for nothing, and the Cowboys are going to give him a new contract, it's all for nothing. I don't think Micah's going to play in week 1 without a new deal. I think we'll get to like week 8, week 9. He'll hit the point where he has to be on the active roster. He'll come back, he'll practice, he'll play. But I don't think he wants to be there for the long term. I could see this happening in a very similar situation when he's put on the franchise tag. And I saw the Packers yesterday have already put out a very serious trade offer to the Cowboys. The report I saw said that it's not expected to be accepted, but apparently it is like already a huge offer.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens because this is the first year Micah's making legitimate money too. Like you need to factor that in. I know he got his signing bonus and he's still made he's made 24 million or 17 million in his career, but he's making 24 million this year. So like Jerry needs to extend him, but he's also in a way has Micah by the balls a little bit, I would say. In a way, a small way, because Mike is going to make more this season than he's ever made in the NFL. So that is one thing where it's like Jerry does say, well, he is making good money this year. He is making good money, but he does want an extension. He deserves one. What about Terry McLaurin? What's he doing?
Well, hold on. So give me just 15 more seconds here. So the franchise tag for defensive ends next year is expected to be $26.5 million. So obviously that's good money, but if your market value right now is $41 million, which is based on what TJ Watt said, well, you're $15 million in the hole per year. That's That's not decent money when you look at it from that perspective.
No, but they still, Jared can do whatever he wants with him. That's the problem.
So the Terry McLaurin update. So there's a lot going on. One of the biggest issues, which is actually a very good sign for the Commanders. Adam Peters, I don't know if you know this, but Adam Peters was part of that Belichick New England era. And then I think he was with the Broncos, then in the Niners. But a lot of what he learned was in that Patriots system. And what was one of the biggest defining characteristics of that Patriots front office? There were no leaks. You never got any information. That's been true in Washington for the most part. So despite everybody having sources telling them like this is what this side wants, and nobody can figure out a real number because nobody knows. There was a report 2 days ago. I wrote it down. I don't have the tab open in front of me. Otherwise I would tell you. But this person indicated that Terry and his agent, really Terry's agent, because he's not the one talking to the team, the Commanders were so stunned by the initial offer that they almost completely shut down everything. We're like, whatever, you're going to have to find a new team, because they didn't think it was going to be possible for them to get to an agreement just based on how high the starting ask was. The way I was listening to this person talk, again, I wish I could remember their name. The way they were talking made it sound like, the DK Metcalf contract, which it was like Terry wants the DK Metcalf. The way he was talking made it sound like that was the compromise. That was the second offer, the third offer. So the first offer, if DK is making $33 million a year, and that's the compromise, another $2 million maybe, that's the opening offer, if not more. Well, once you add $2 million to that and you're at 35, that's the second largest contract in the entire NFL for receivers. That's more than Justin Jefferson. So, like, if this is accurate, I would totally understand why the Commanders would be like, kick rocks. We're not even going to entertain talking to you if you think you're going to get more than $35 million a year going into your age 30 season.
Just selfish. That's what Commanders football is all about. Selfishness.
Yeah, definitely.
Just selfish football players.
No, it just sounds like it's just really bad representation. That's what a lot of people insiders, even I saw an anonymous GM say, like, everybody's just convinced that it's bad advice from his agent.
Well, he shouldn't be listening. That's the problem. Like that, ultimately, in the end of the day, that's the biggest issue, I think, with some of these guys. Like, you listen to the agent a little too much. In the end of the day, like, you are the commodity. The agent needs you, like, so if the agent tells you to hold out, like, these guys are there to play football. And that's the biggest issue that I get with it. And Terry McLaurin deserves more money. He doesn't deserve DK Metcalf money. Nowhere close to that. But in the end of the day, your ultimate goal in the NFL, when you do take care of your family and you get all the money, and Terry's got plenty of money, it should be, I want to go out and win a Super Bowl. And I only have so much time to win a Super Bowl. And I want to get this contract done, whatever it is, so I can go out and win a Super Bowl. And I just think a lot of these guys do lose the plot very quickly. And that's sad.
So just for comparison here, so Micah Parsons' agent is David Mulugheta. His highest paid clients are Jordan Love, Deshaun Watson. Him negotiating that Deshaun Watson deal shows you what kind of guy he is.
Yeah,
because that was an unprecedented contract when it happened. Derek Stingley, J.C. Horn, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Ramsey, AJ Terrell.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, obviously Micah Parsons as well in there. He's got some rookies, like he's got Jade Barron, Nicky Manwari. Terry McLaurin's agent, who is Buddy Baker. If we take out Terry, his next highest paid clients are Tershawn Wharton, Jeremy Chin, Reed Blankenship, Shaquille Griffin, and then a rookie, Demetrius Knight Jr.
He's still doing fine. Like, he's still doing okay.
Oh, well, yeah, but I'm saying he clearly does not have experience negotiating this level of contract value.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue.
And so I think I'm not trying to insult the man. I don't know anything about him or his history or his business. I've never talked to Buddy Baker, but Micah Parsons' agent, when Micah's saying, I'm holding out if I don't get $40 million. Well, when your agent negotiated the Deshaun Watson deal, which smashed all the records, there's proof of concept that you can negotiate this sort of thing. Buddy Baker, his highest paid client's making $8 million a year, and now he's trying to get 35 for Terry. He's looking at this like, well, I know that my client's good, so I should probably try to reset the market, forgetting that his client's going to be 30 years old and the team has the leverage in this situation. So yeah, I think it's just bad advice.
And Terry McLaurin's not worthy of resetting the market. Like that's the biggest thing that we're missing here. Speaking of other contract disputes, Trey Hendrickson, I don't know if he's going to play for the Bengals this year. And Trey Hendrickson has absolutely no leverage. Like he has no leverage. Shamar Stewart's back in camp, even though did you see he hit Joe Burrow yesterday?
I did.
How dumb can you be touching the golden boy?
So I saw a clip. It looked like, so he was ducking inside, and when you're rushing the passer, you got to get low. Unless you just bull him out of the way, you got to get low, bend the corner, right? So it looked like he was bending down, and while he was falling forward almost, and somebody like an offensive lineman pushed him in the back. So he hit Joe Burrow, but I don't think he had a choice because I think his momentum just took him right into him and then started a brawl.
So he's at camp now, though. We really didn't hear much about what happened with his contract. He just showed up. I'm not in the Bengals news cycle, but nationally, he just kind of got there.
There were some, so the guarantees, there was a new clause that Shamar's guarantees could be voided if there were new clauses compared to other contracts. Like if you have these violations, whatever, he said, hey, I'm not signing this because you put that there. They left those clauses in place, but they guaranteed his money for his first year or first 2 years, I think.
Interesting. So Trey Hendrickson has no leverage now because they drafted Shamar Stewart to replace him, and he's not going to get a contract extension. So that's what that means. And the Bengals, they're okay with having to score 45 points a game. That's what they got to do to win, and it can work for them. So they're going to be content doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow, this is a good transition to something we have coming up later. ESPN ranked their top and bottom position groups. I would assume the Bengals would be number one for receivers. So, like, I understand leaning into your strength, but that also doesn't mean that you want to go out of your way to cripple your defense. You want them to be able to support the offense.
Yep. So, before we get into that, though, real quick, Shedeur Sanders.
Let's go to Cleveland.
Oblique, and let's go to Cleveland. We'll talk about the jailbirds. Got signed a couple jailbirds over in Cleveland, and then we got Shedeur Sanders updates with the oblique. This is probably like low key the best thing that could have happened to Shedeur Sanders injuring his oblique. Maybe not if he wants to be the starting quarterback, but like now, at least in the fan perspective, you're not going to play the rest of the preseason, and you're going to make the team. We know that, obviously. He's probably not going to be the week one starter now, but the fans remember him as this legend from preseason week one. And now we won't see him again for the rest of the preseason. So we still get to live off the hype of week one instead of seeing what he was going to do in week 2 and week 3. So I think this is actually a big win for Shedeur Sanders.
Well, let me ask you a question there. You're saying he's not going to play in week 3 of the preseason. He's 4th on the depth chart. That's the 3rd preseason game is all for the guys at the bottom of the roster. So wouldn't he play in the 3rd one?
It depends what the oblique looks like,
I don't know. I don't know how much I buy into this because they held him out for that one practice with shoulder soreness, and all their quarterbacks have hamstring injuries. I feel like they know they want to trade one of these guys, but they just don't know who. So they're moving very weirdly.
Well, basically, Browns preseason football this week is going to be must-watch television because we want to see what Dylan Gabriel can do. I bet they're on national TV. He's not playing either.
He's injured. He's got a hamstring. Kenny Pickett's got a hamstring. It's Joe Flacco and Tyler Huntley.
All right, so Snoop's going to get most of the game. I thought Gabriel was healthy this week. That's ridiculous. All right, well, that sucks. Nobody cares about the Browns then. Anyways, the Browns like signing guys with criminal records. So Quinshon Judkins just got signed off his rookie deal. Grant, why don't you break that down?
I believe he was there was some sort of assault charge. He was a 2nd-round draft pick. Finally, they come out, say that we don't have enough. No, sorry. That was Isaiah Bond. They said that they don't have enough evidence to take it to trial. Quinshon Judkins get released. I guess he's clear of wrongdoing, and now he's officially signed with the Browns. And then later that day, Isaiah Bond gets released, or he's out on jail, but it comes out that there's not enough evidence to charge him, and he says he intends to sign with the Browns. I get it. These guys weren't convicted. They weren't found guilty, and as long as that's the case, they don't deserve to be deprived of opportunities. So I don't take issue to it from that standpoint, but it's like, it feels like the Browns I don't know if it's desperation. We talk about this all the time. If a team believes you can help them, they will overlook your character flaws. They will overlook your off-field troubles to get you on the field. So I don't know if this is like the Browns are so bad that they're just willing to take anybody, but they just are desperate in every way. And that's what this confirms.
I mean, Quinshon Judkins is your second round pick. Like you're getting him on the roster if he doesn't have a criminal record. Isaiah Bond, first of all, I don't know why Isaiah Bond left school. Like you should have probably stayed one more season at Texas with Arch. That's what I don't understand.
A lot of people thought he was going to be drafted in like the 3rd or 4th round, I think is where he's supposed to go. And then he became a UDFA.
But still, though, like 3rd or 4th, you play one more season, you get your NIL, you potentially win a national title with Arch. Like that would have been good for him. But there's something called talent over everything, Grant. You know what that means?
Yeah.
TOE. You can do whatever you want, but if you can run and throw the football and catch football, you got a spot in the NFL. So talent over everything. I don't necessarily, I mean, I understand the Isaiah Bond signing because if you had a 2nd, 3rd round grade, now you can get him, but still like letting the jailbirds on the team is not good for the team.
Yeah. And there's just, I mean, Myles Garrett's your best player and he's getting arrested for doing 100. Shedeur's a rookie. He's getting arrested for doing 100. It's always been like that. They're just a desperate team.
But that's so bad. Like the good teams, you don't really see a lot of that. Plus, you're like, I think back to the University of Miami, like back in the day. You know, the documentaries, like those all, and even Florida, like Florida and the Swamp Kings documentary, like all those guys were getting arrested every single night. Now you can't get away with that stuff in today's world.
Well, Aaron Hernandez was killing people.
But even besides Aaron Hernandez, they were still like they had jailbirds all over the damn football team. Like they would go out and get arrested every day and be like, "Oh, you're a football player, get you back to practice." And Georgia Bulldogs, listen, they win national titles and they like going fast on the roads. It's just the way it is. But wait, does worse character equate? Do you think worse character equates to better football players? Probably.
No, I don't think there's a direct correlation, but
chances are you don't get in trouble and you're a good football player.
I don't think the worse you are as a human, the better football player you are. But I think there are definitely a lot of bad people who are really good at football.
So if you take, all right, so let's do a scale. So take every NFL caliber player, okay? And then take the ones who get in trouble the most. Do you think those are the better football players? I would say yes. Because they can afford to get in trouble.
In a very sick and twisted way, it actually does make sense because when you're on the field, you have to be that way. Maybe not have to, but it can help you if you act that way. Well, and then they just carry that over into their personal lives.
If you're the undrafted free agent out of North Dakota State and you punch your girlfriend, chances are you're not getting back on the roster. If you're Quinshon Judkins, you're getting back on the roster. So that's the biggest difference, I think. Like, you know, the more talented guys maybe have more leeway off the field, and they've known that their entire career. So that's why I think
Joe Mixon was caught on camera before the draft knocking a girl out in a bar. And all that happened to him was he went from a 1st round pick to a 2nd round pick.
Well, even Laremy Tunsil, remember the video came out of him with the freaking
That's my tackle. Don't talk about it.
And he's a hell of an NFL football player. Character issues didn't turn out to be an issue for him, but like he dropped a significant chunk in the 1st round. He was supposed to be like a top 5 pick. Didn't he go in like the 19th or something like that?
Yeah, let me see right here. Laremy Tunsil was 13th.
All right, and he was supposed to be like top 5, and that was the big story of draft night, like him having a gap. Now, in today's world, nobody would even care about that, but like back in the day, that mattered. And like also too, Jalen Carter literally drove a car like 100 miles an hour and killed somebody, didn't he?
He was part of a drag race that ended up fatal. He wasn't driving the car that it happened in, but he was in the race, I believe.
Now, he dropped to 10th. Like if you're the 7th round pick, you're not getting in the NFL from that, where he dropped 6 spots in the NFL draft. It's crazy. So I think we got a good theory going.
It's well, unfortunately, like I would love if that didn't happen, but
no, but that's the way it is. The more talent, but that's how it always is. The kids with worse grades are typically the better athletes. Like it starts at a young age.
Speaking of more talent, ESPN came out with their top and bottom rankings for every position in the NFL. Quarterback, running back, receiver, everything. I thought it'd be cool to just go through. They break them down into best, shakiest, and unit to watch.
Right.
So, I mean, like quarterback's not that interesting. They have Lamar Jackson as the best. Well, they have the Ravens as the best. Shakiest is the Saints. No surprise. Unit to watch, the Vikings. We've talked about JJ McCarthy a lot. That makes sense.
That's good.
Best running back, Lions, no surprise. Shakiest, Cowboys, no surprise. Unit to watch, Chargers. That's not very interesting. This one I like, and I'm assuming you'll like it as well. Receivers, they got the Bengals as the best. They got the Raiders as the shakiest. The unit to watch they have is the Buccaneers. And I want to put that out there because that's your team, obviously. I think the Buccaneers could lead the NFL in scoring this year.
I think that's just how they play. And their defense is okay. Like, don't get me wrong. The Buccaneers can get stops. They got some legitimate dudes on the defensive side of the ball. They focused on it in the draft over the past few years. But at the same time, too, like this is the Buccaneers are like the greatest show on grass. That's what they are.
I mean, let me pull up their depth chart just so we can take a look at this. Baker,
I got to memorize, Grant. Come on.
Baker's going to take his chances. Like, he'll throw some picks, but he's going to put points on the board.
20 picks, 40 touchdowns, 20 picks. That's what he does.
20 picks is a lot.
That's what he does.
I think he was 16 last year, and that's a lot. But
Baker, though.
Bucky Irving, Rashad White, Sean Tucker is probably the best RB3 in the NFL. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer, Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard. Like, that's 7 receivers deep with Cade Otton and Payne Durham, maybe the best tackle in the league, and a good offensive line.
So, one of my favorite props, and I don't like taking props in futures, but you know what my favorite prop would be?
Is it Egbuka over something?
Yeah, Buka over 650.5. That seems a little too free.
When is Chris Godwin coming back? Do you know?
He's week 1 potentially, but even if he's back week 1, like what are you gonna expect out of Chris Godwin?
Right.
The Bucs are like honestly lucky that he did get injured in a way, because I don't think he was going to be in Tampa Bay if he didn't get injured. I think he was going to be a big time free agent on the open market.
He was going to be the highest paid receiver free agent. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're in a way, like they're never lucky when a guy goes down. He could have helped them last year too, but by him getting hurt, he signed an extension with the Bucs.
Do you remember the video of when he was getting carted off after he broke his foot?
I was at that game actually. I was at that game. It was dumb, but they covered the live spread, like, because they kept scoring against the Ravens that night and they got, they were getting after everybody. It's like starters shouldn't have been on the field at that point. Well, like it was a 10-point game too at that time.
Well, I just remember that they load him up on the cart and everything, and his foot is broken. It's hanging off sideways, and they put the camera on him, and he puts his head down, and he looks at the guy next to him, and he says, "You're lip reading," but he says, "Back to work." Like, that's just a relentless mindset. That made me, if I wasn't already a Chris Godwin fan, that made me such a huge fan.
He's a dog. I mean, the Bucs treated him pretty damn well too. I mean, they could have let him walk. They got plenty of talent in the receiving room, but they still gave him a 3-year deal worth $66 million.
The Egbuka, I was shocked that they signed Egbuka. I thought they were going to go. I'm trying to remember who I had them down for. I think I might have had them picking Jade Barron.
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to go defense.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone thought, because the defense is a little older than the offense. But the thing is, they don't have roster holes. They don't need to fill a position necessarily.
McMillan sucks though. Like, I think that was their biggest fear. Like, McMillan wasn't the guy that they were expecting him to be. You don't have a Buka. McMillan's not a wide receiver 2. He's a wide receiver 3.
He caught 8 touchdowns as a rookie in 13 games.
They just didn't use him. They didn't use him early on enough. He started coming alive with Mike Evans. And you got to know long term, like Mike Evans got 2-3 more seasons. 3 more, I think. 2.
You mean on his contract?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about as a productive player.
Oh, as a productive player, he might have 1. We don't know.
He might have 0, honestly. We'll see.
2 years, $41 million extension, 25-26. This is probably the last productive season you're going to get out of a Mike Evans. So then you still got Godwin, Egbuka, and McMillan. You go defense in a year. You got Cade Otton. You got great running backs. Like, they're in good shape for a few years.
Yeah, Tez Johnson could be a player too. I know he tested horribly at the combine, but he was really good at Oregon.
They may go quarterback next year too. Like,
is Baker's? I mean, he's still got a while to go, but is he 30 now?
Yeah, Baker's 30.
30, yeah.
I think Baker is.
He is 30. Yeah.
He's 30 on the dot. He has 25, 26. So he's got 2 years left on his deal.
Isn't it crazy that Baker was going to be out of the NFL until he led a 98-yard 2-minute drive after 48 hours with the Rams?
He's a dog. Baker Mayfield is a dog.
He was playing scout team defensive end for the Panthers the week before, and then that happened, and that series earned him a contract with the Buccaneers.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll go quarterback next year, but if they were smart in the loaded class that the quarterbacks have next year, they would take a quarterback and let him sit behind Baker for a year, maybe even 2-3 years. Like the Jordan Love effect does work. I don't know why teams get away from that so much.
So the Buccaneers, according to Tankathon, who's they're my favorite site to look at mock drafts. They have the Bucs going LT Overton, who is an edge from Alabama, at 21 next year.
Smart. They need defense. So they're set on offense for a long time.
I'm trying to find the closest quarterback. So they have Klubnik going at 16. Again, they got the Bucs picking at 21. And then the next quarterback, they don't have Fernando Mendoza going until the Rams at 59.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a pretty big drop off there.
Give me Drew Aller. Give me Drew Aller.
You don't want Drew Aller because that means the Bucs are going to be really bad this year.
Yeah, I don't want that. But maybe they'll trade up for him. Who knows? Drew Aller's a dog.
Back to these rankings here. Oh, did I think I accidentally left the page that I was looking at them on. But back to the rankings because I remember what I was going to tell you about. They had the Commanders, unfortunately. I was looking at the edge rushers, and they had the Commanders as the shakiest unit in the league. And I mean, I'm not here to disagree with that because I think it's definitely a concern. Like that's why. Yeah, a team that has championship aspirations probably should not be signing Von Miller to save the day. If he's like adding to what you have, okay. But for Von Miller to be the guy. So yeah, the unit to watch, they have the Giants. This might be a hot take. And I know that it's edge rusher, not defensive line. I think the Giants could have the best defensive line in the entire NFL.
Giants? They have,
I mean, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence. Like that is nasty.
Yeah, they could make the playoffs. Like it wouldn't be crazy to think that they're in the playoffs this year. I don't think they're going to struggle as bad as some people think. Like if there's one wild card team to make the playoffs, it would be them in my opinion. But Grant, speaking of your commies, did you see the tweet about the quarterbacks that you beat last year or played?
It's so misleading, Tanner. Don't do this.
But like seriously,
it's so misleading.
Seriously though, like, did you see the core? I'm not saying you guys weren't a good football
I saw the
team.
list that went viral where they took out the best quarterbacks that we played. Yeah.
Well, so you went 12-5, and 12 of the quarterbacks were Daniel Jones, Andy Dalton, Caleb Williams, Daniel Jones again, Cooper Rush, you lost, Will Levis, Jake Haener, Spencer Rattler, Kenny Pickett, Trey Lance, Deshaun Watson, and Joe Burrow.
Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler play for the same team. The list is nonsense. We beat Baker Mayfield. We beat Joe Burrow.
No, Baker doesn't count. That was a playoff game.
It absolutely counts.
We're not counting the playoffs. We're counting the regular.
Oh yeah, so we're not counting the playoffs.
This is a regular
season.
This is a regular season list. This is a regular season list. Who else did you beat in the regular season?
Well, I saw us in the championship game after we beat Baker Mayfield on the road and Jared Goff on the road.
You beat Jared. Like Baker beat himself with the fumble. I'll give you Jared, but if Baker doesn't fumble the whatever.
All right, fine. Well, if Austin Eckler doesn't
beat in the regular season
50-yard line, we won the championship game and we're in the Super Bowl. If that's what we're doing.
The Eagles beat your ass. What do you?
No, it was going to be a 3-point game in the fourth quarter if Austin Eckler doesn't fumble at the 50-yard line.
The Eagles beat guys by like 60 points that game. Like
it was a 3-point game in the fourth quarter.
That was a manslaughter. What are you talking about?
Well, you were enjoying watching it at home, weren't you?
I was enjoying watching at home. I mean, I'm good. I won the division. I'm fine. I was a division champion.
We were in the conference championship game. You know, we only lost to Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, by 7. And honestly, that's only 7 points. That's basically a win if we're just changing things now.
Grant, who did you, I'm not trying to be a dick. Like, who'd you beat in the regular season that was good? Like, I didn't realize this till I saw the list.
The regular season quarterbacks we played were not very good. We got a fourth place. We got a fourth place divisional schedule. That's how it is for every team.
That's all.
But when you go to the playoffs and you win 2 games on the road as underdogs against your favorite quarterback and Jared Goff, who was top 5 in MVP voting, those are good wins. This list goes out the window.
The Lions win was very impressive. The Buccaneers, I mean, you guys, that was a 2.5 point spread. Like, I'm not gonna toot your horn there, but the Lions win was very impressive. I'm just saying, I saw that list. I thought of you the other day. I'm like, man, you guys beat nobody in the
Baker Mayfield, 185 yards in a home playoff game.
What did he do? What did he? And they were still in a position to win the game. Granted, truthfully, if they don't fumble the football, they win the game there. You know they do. Well, I'm not wrong. If they don't fumble,
we'll never know. Baker Mayfield, QBR of 63, Jaden Daniels 80.4.
No, he was good. Like, Jaden was good, but like, your defense got to go against schmucks all season.
Okay.
You guys would, if you guys played a legitimate schedule, you probably wouldn't even been in the playoffs.
Yeah, bunch of what it could should us. You enjoy the NFC South down there where you're playing nobody.
I've how many division championships have I won in a row? 4.
You won.
I mean, I've won 4 in a row. I got 6 Super Bowl rings, 7 Super Bowl rings I got with the Patriots and the Bucs. So I'm good.
I agree with your Giants take. Like, I want to say that the Giants, their win total is only 5.5. I want to hammer the over on that, but the problem is their schedule. They go at Commanders, at Cowboys to start the season, back-to-back road divisional games. Chiefs, Chargers, you're 0-4. At the Saints, that's the terrible team, but it is on the road. Eagles, at Broncos, at Eagles, 49ers. You might not have a win at this point. At Bears, Packers, at Lions, at Patriots, Commanders, Vikings, at Raiders, Cowboys. That's the toughest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, and you're probably going to fire Dable at some point. That's the tough part. Then you get the
maybe
coach.
Make the move to Jackson Dart.
Yeah, you get to fire the coach boost for a little bit, which is good. But yeah, it's tough. That's a tough schedule. The schedules are tough. Like, it's hard to win in the NFL. It's so hard to win week after week. And they're going to steal a couple of games. They're going to. I think the Giants will split with the Cowboys, potentially split with you guys, just because they're division games. Potentially split with the Eagles. Like, you can't rule that out. So if you get 2 of 3 splits there, that's 2 wins. You beat the Saints, that's 3 wins. You beat the Raiders, potentially that's 4 wins. You still got a long way to go there.
Yeah, you're underdog in every other game you play.
Yeah. So anyways, Grant, should we talk some college ball?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So the AP number 1 team in the nation has not won the national title in 19 of the past 22 seasons. That would be Texas. I've never seen a team this boosted up when we haven't seen the quarterback play as the Texas Longhorns. Like, Texas is set up to go 8-4 and play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Well, that would be better than the championship, if we're being honest.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl would be cool. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, that's a cool bowl game. I can't imagine like Sark eating a Pop-Tart after he beats like Iowa State or something in the Pop-Tarts Bowl and like being happy after the expectations that they had this season. They would probably refuse the Pop-Tart.
So Texas starts the year with that Ohio State game, as we all know. Then they got nothing to worry about for a month. They're at Florida. And then towards the end of the year, they have at Georgia, Arkansas versus A&M. So it's not the most difficult schedule in the world, but there are games that they could lose.
Well, you got to win week 1. If you win week 1, the Texas enthusiasm is going to be through the roof. Like, that's the game that you have to win. And they refuse to play a night game too. So that's another big thing for Texas. They wanted a day game in Ohio State, and they got it.
And Ohio State is probably going to be starting Julian Sayin, who is a sophomore, but it's going to be his first year starting. And it'll be Arch's first year starting as well. But Arch has started 2 games for them, and he's played in multiple games, and he's been with the system longer.
I got a hot take. You ready for this? I think Texas is going to beat the living shit out of him in week 1.
I think they should, honestly.
I think they're going to go on the road and win by 10 points.
I think if they are legit national title favorites, they should do that. Like, because Ohio State, don't forget, they lost Chip Kelly as well. That's a big loss.
Ohio State lost a lot of talent. You have Jeremiah Smith. Like, I don't know how you defend Jeremiah Smith, but Texas has the defense to defend him. If anybody can defend him. And we
you don't
saw
defend
that.
him. That's the answer. You don't defend him.
But what did Jeremiah Smith do in their game last year against them? You can defend him, Grant. There's plenty of ways to defend him. You just got to leave somebody else open.
He had 1 catch for 3 yards.
There you go. Texas's defense was legit in that game. And honestly, going back to the plays, like if Texas doesn't let up the 90-yard screen pass at the end of the half to go down 14 after that beautiful throw that Quinn had to the corner, like you're down 7, I think, getting the ball coming out of the locker room. Like,
no, you're tied.
You're tied, right? Okay.
Yeah.
They're down 3, maybe, was it? I thought they were still down.
No. It was 7-7, and then Travion had the screen. Let me see. With 13 seconds left, Travion got a 75-yard screen pass touchdown to make it 14-7.
And you know what the craziest thing about this football game was? Texas has the ball at the 5-yard line or 3 with down 7.
With 2 minutes left.
With 2 minutes left in the game. Texas, they weren't the better team, but they had chances to at least send it to overtime, make it a football game. I think Texas goes on the road and smashes Ohio State, like destroys them.
Well, I guess the thing, it depends on how good is Julian Say, and is he able to step in and not miss a beat. Obviously, you lost Judkins, you lost Henderson. Those are huge losses. You would assume Jeremiah Smith is going to be even better this year. Carnell Tate is back. You've got the 2 best players in college football. You've got Jeremiah Smith and you've got Caleb Downs. So are they good enough to overcome the losses you have everywhere else?
I think Texas is the most complete team in the country, though. Like, that's the completeness of a football team there. Like, Texas, the only unknown with Texas is Arch Manning. That's it. And I know they got 4 or 5 new offensive linemen, but they still have a lot of guys who have played and a lot of big names.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Again, if I were to make my rankings right now, I would have Texas as my national title favorite. With that being said, I just don't know what to expect from Arch.
He's got to be good. He's got to be. He's a Manning. There's no other option than to be good if you're a Manning. Like, I don't think the moment's going to be too big for him. That's the biggest thing. And like all this stuff, and we go back to whatever when they won the Alamo Bowl, and who was the quarterback won the Alamo Bowl for them? You know what I'm talking about? The original Texas is back, not the
gosh, I can't remember.
Played for the Colts, I think, a little bit.
Sam Ellinger.
He's been in the league for a little bit.
Yeah.
But like when he said Texas is back when they won the Alamo Bowl and they weren't even close to being back, this is the culmination of Texas being back. We're like finally at the year where Texas is officially back, because last season they were good. They weren't a national championship caliber team last year, but now we're at Texas is officially back. So I think this is the year that they have to take off. It comes down to Arch Manning, but they're going to smack Ohio State. They're going to beat San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston. They might lose in the swamp if Florida is everything we think they are, but like I'll take a Steve Sarkisian coach team over a Billy Napier coach team any day of the week. OU has a quarterback who likes to gamble. They'll beat them at home. Or no, that's the Red River Showdown. They'll win that. Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vandy, Georgia's a hard game. They beat Arkansas. A&M, I don't think much of A&M this year. So like they got like 3 hard games, and you got to win. You got to win one of them to make the playoffs. But 2, you're easily in.
I view Penn State and Texas very similarly. I think you'll be able to learn more about Texas. Well, maybe not. Let me see who Penn State plays.
I think Penn State. I don't have fear that Sark can't win a big game.
That's why. So I view them the same. That the coaches that I like, but I don't fully trust, and I think their rosters are very similar. The difference is I definitely trust Sark more than I trust James Franklin, even though I don't fully trust Sark.
Is there a reason to trust Sark, though? Like, Sark hasn't done anything either.
That's what I'm saying. I don't fully trust him, but I trust Franklin less.
But, like, I trust Sark, too. Based on just his intensity and, like, what Texas is. Like, and it's also Texas, the brand. Like, I think James Franklin has just lost so many big games, but he really had, in the end of the day, like, he just loses to Ohio State and Michigan. Like he can't beat those teams. They're not that caliber of a football program. And I still don't think they are, even though last year Penn State should have beat Notre Dame. Like I will die on that hill. They should have beat Notre Dame. If you don't get the dumb play at the end to set Notre Dame up to win the game, Penn State probably could win that game in overtime. So, they had every opportunity. Now, this year's version of Drew Aller probably can drive the field and go beat Notre Dame if he gets that opportunity again. But Oregon, I don't expect much of Oregon this year. Like, I think Penn State will be better than them. I think Ohio State's going to be tough for Penn State like they always are. And, Michigan they don't even have Michigan.
The team we're yet to mention, who as it stands, I'm going to be betting on to win it all, is Clemson.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Why?
I understand it. I don't buy it because when you play these teams from the South and the North, Grant, in the playoffs, things get a little different.
You can't use that with Clemson though, because Clemson's different. It's not just a random team that's popping up out of nowhere.
They're good. Dabo's good. They got a good quarterback. They
played Texas really well on the road, despite having a much worse roster last year.
But Texas just wasn't ready for that game. Like when Texas wanted to turn it up, they were able to. It's just like they just couldn't get it going. I don't
excuse, and
but you saw the game, Grant. Texas jumped out to an early lead. I think they lost focus a little bit. They were clearly the better team in every area on the field that day. It was one of those. It was kind of like Texas playing against Arizona State. It was clear how much better Texas was. Same thing, Ohio State, Notre Dame. It was clear how much better they were. They just let them hang around.
I disagree. I mean, Quinn was awful in that game. They're running all over the field, but now Clemson has 2 of the top 10 picks in the draft in their front 7.
No, I'm not saying that Clemson can't compete, but I'm saying like going to those games, like the Notre Dame Penn State game, Ohio State Notre Dame. Ohio State was better. They let Notre Dame hang around. Notre Dame took advantage of it. The Clemson game was a little closer, but Texas physically just beat them up in the trenches. That was the biggest difference.
Right, but Clemson's better this year is what I'm saying.
So is Texas. Hook them. And I think Miami's going to win the ACC.
I think that's the title game. I think it's Clemson and Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd take Clemson to win the national title by any means, but I think they're like 11-1. Like I would much rather take maybe not Alabama at 11-1, but I think I'd rather take LSU 14-1 than Clemson 11-1.
Have fun with that.
LSU is going to be good.
How good? Are they going to be better than Georgia and Texas and Alabama? Because otherwise they might not make it into the 4
in. With LSU's schedule, you can lose 3 games and potentially get in.
What is their schedule?
It's brutal.
So they start the year at Clemson. They've got at Ole Miss. They have South Carolina. They have A&M. They have at Alabama. They end the year at Oklahoma.
Clemson will beat LSU week 1 because Brian Kelly can't turn it up till like week 3. They always play bad in that first game.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They could have 3 losses and an out-of-conference loss and get in.
Yeah, because their 3 losses are going to be the playoff teams.
Yeah.
So Texas plus 2.5 at Ohio State. Feed me that. What other line do I like? Alabama minus 13.5 at Florida State. Love that. LSU plus 3.5 at Clemson. Inject it into my veins. Love that. What other lines we got here that I'm just going through real quick?
Georgia minus 39.5 against Marshall.
I don't like those lines, but yeah, Georgia.
I hate those lines so much.
People like them though. There's a lot of people that like win big money parlaying the 38-point favorites in week 1.
I can't. That's not me.
Kansas State, Iowa State. Give me K-State money line. I'm going to parlay that with Kansas money line for my little week 0 parlay. Kansas State lost Iowa State late last year. They get their chance for revenge at home. Give me K-State. Even though it's funny though, those Big 12 teams, they do not matter one bit to the landscape of college football. It's actually really cute that people consider them a power team.
The whole Big 12 is basically as good as the next team.
Yeah, the Big 12 sucks. Like it's the SEC, the Big 10, and Clemson, and maybe Miami. That's it.
Yep, and Notre Dame.
Even though Notre Dame, like they're boring. Notre Dame's gonna be better this year though. They actually have a quarterback who can throw the football.
No, he was a top 50 recruit.
Yeah, so they're gonna be good. I just want to see real quick before we sign off here that the first Big 12 team in the national championship odds is
Is it K-State?
It is no, it's Arizona State.
Oh, that makes sense.
Wait, okay. Utah is a Pac-12 team, not Pac-12, a Big 12.
Wait, I have Utah, Arizona State, K-State, and Texas Tech all at 100 to 1.
Yes.
Yep.
Utah, Arizona State, K-State, Texas Tech. Arizona State's probably going to be worse this year. They're probably going to take a step back.
So K-State, Texas Tech, and Arizona State are all plus 550 to win the Big 12.
Okay, so it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
Anyways, Grant, that was Ride the Line. We're riding today.
We were riding into the weekend.
Talk some more college football. Next week, we'll talk some NFL. We got games coming up. This is kind of the boring time, I feel like. We're
so close.
There. We're so close, but we're not there yet. We got a couple weeks.
But we will get there, and we will get there on Ride the Line. So, guys, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoyed this, and also to get yourself ready for when the NFL is back, when the college football is back, go to WSN.com. Tanner, myself, the team, we got picks for all the games. We got bonus codes for the sports books to get yourself some bonus bets, some profit boosts, all that great stuff. It's at WSN.com.
WSN.com. We will see you next time for another episode. Subscribe, like, share. See you next week.